Hello, I'm back, y'all. I came back. I came back. Just like everybody asked me to do. I came back. Now I'm here. Where's everybody else at? Joshua's here, as usual. Thank you, Joshua, for supporting. Thank you so much. Uh-huh. Where's everybody at? Y'all asked for this and we talking about it. Y'all asked for this and we talking about it. Okay? So where's my people at? I'm gonna give y'all some time to get up in here. Josh, share it out so people can know I'm live. I got my prayer in and we good. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna do a couple of promos, and when we come back, we getting in this thing, and then hopefully everybody else will be where they supposed to be. Because y'all said come back. Y'all said come back. Come back. I'm here, and we gonna talk about it. Okay. All right, so we're gonna pause for the cause, guys, and y'all know the cause is support. Check this out. Check it out. This is my shoe line, guys.
Let the sun set on the stagnations of your life. Rise to a new dawn, a new way of living, a new dimension, a new level, through a new portal. Amazon author Clayleen Woods has supplied all of your literary needs on Amazon, whether you are an individual, a woman that suffers from depression or low self-esteem, or if you are a little one that looks like us that may be experiencing bullying at school, or you just don't feel like you fit in. She has the book for you that will give you the pick you up that you need. You are beautiful, you are special, and you are valued. And just in case your family or society have not told you, she has took on the burden, not even the burden, but the cause to tell you that you are beautiful. You are exceptional. You are phenomenal. Check.
So those are my books on Amazon. You all can see all of my literary work on Amazon. Just type my name in ClayLing, my maiden name WOODS, and you will see in the Amazon browser, and you will see all of my books. Okay. All right, let's get into the conversation now. Here's the deal. Everybody said, "Come back, Queen, and discuss this topic." So I'm back. Okay. Now where's everybody else at? Where y'all at? Where are you all at? Where y'all at? Where are you all at? The ones who said, "Come on back, Queen, let's talk about it." So what happened was I just was on live and I was talking about the thing, this whole situation with Tyler Perry. Like I said, everybody knows my stance on the situation, right? Everybody knows my stance on the situation. This is my thing. People gonna do what they want to do regardless. They're gonna do. People are gonna do what they want to do regardless, right? And I feel like he has spent years, and I'm talking about Tyler Perry. He has spent years portraying some type of facade, portraying. I don't know. At times, he portrays like he's some type of pastor. He's always giving some type of trying to impart knowledge to somebody. At times, he's a rescuer of dried up actresses, or at times he's a hero. I'm not talking bad about the man. I'm not. Honest to God, I'm not. I feel like he's done a lot for the community. I really do feel like he's done a lot for the community. However, I feel like Tyler Perry has not lived his truth ever. I feel like he's tried to live his truth in the background. And I said on the live that I feel like a man of his status and a man of his wealth feels like he can live how he want to live in privately at the at the cost of individuals' privacy, at the cost of individuals' safety, at the cost of individuals' careers. But here's the thing: if you just go ahead and be you, I feel like he wouldn't be in this situation right now. And yeah, he's trying to, blow it off or whatever. And he out here singing songs. Do I still got the song he was singing? Let's see what he was doing. This is his rebuttal to the whole situation was going on. This is what he did. This was what he
He's
did.
got the whole world in his hands. He got the whole world in his hands. Hey, I'm just sitting here on my porch just looking. What am I looking at? I'm looking to the hills from whence cometh my help. For my help, some of y'all know the rest. Um, I just wanted to come on and just tell everybody, just be as calm as you can. He's got the whole world.
Does this. He does this. And I'm not hating on him or nothing like this. I promise y'all I'm not. Okay, he goes right back to the pandering to the church, to the church community, and to black women and all of this stuff. Some of y'all know what this is. Y'all know what this is. And then you got some, yeah, Tyler, we know what this is. This ain't nothing but the devil. But you go ahead and look to the hills what's coming your help. No, this is you not being true to yourself, true to your sexuality, and you infringing on the privacies of other men. This is what this is. Don't start singing and quoting scriptures now. Please don't do that. Okay? Let's not do that. This is you moving privately in your real life and making mistakes and thinking you can force something on somebody, or you just misjudging individuals. Because the way this last lawsuit came out, allegedly, yeah, I feel like it was some stuff in the game. Yeah, I feel like this man was playing in your face. Yeah, I do feel like there were times that he felt uncomfortable. I do feel like that. Hey, Scorpio, I say nothing but love your way. I do feel like that. Honest to God, I do feel like that. But I feel like there were times where he, the victim, did not necessarily, he was sending mixed signals. Because if you feel like somebody has touched you inappropriately, then why then you go constantly back to this man's house and sleep in your underwear and you too tired to go home if you really felt uncomfortable? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, you wanted the gig. Yeah, you wanted the car. Yeah, you wanted the contracts. But you said this man is groping on you and you pushing on him. And yes, he did file a grievance through the organization for actors. He did do that. Yeah, he did, but you kept going back. I said this last night. When some in the industry, and I only been in there a little touch, not even enough to get my ears wet, but enough of the industry that I saw, I realized ain't nobody inviting you back to their house or their hotel room just to be your friend. That does not happen in the industry. And I've heard other content creators since I've said that say the same thing, because we already know how to go down in the industry. We know this. And I'm not necessarily talking about the music or rap industry. I'm talking about the play world industry, the gospel play industry. It goes down in the gospel play industry. How do I know? Because I myself was propositioned for sex in the play world industry. It goes down. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? So ain't nobody inviting you to the house for no tea. Ain't nobody inviting you to the hotel to talk about deep life stuff. No, especially at nighttime. No, it's not gonna happen. Okay, so I covered Tyler Perry yesterday, so you guys can go watch the thing. But out of that, a default from that, a branch from that, we were talking about men on the download. Thank you so much, Scorpio. Yes, please, y'all support the channel. $CLAYLING. Yeah, support. We need y'all supports. Okay, you understand what I'm saying? Men on the download. And how do heterosexual men feel about this? You hear a lot how women feel about it. the betrayal, the deceit, fear, because you just never know, right? But how do heterosexual men feel about men on the down low? And I pose the question: do you really consider them men? Like anatomically, yeah, they're men. But how do you feel? And SBK, who said this is a good topic and a good conversation, said, y'all come back. Y'all asked me to come back, and here I am. Okay, so where y'all at? Where you at? Where y'all at? Okay. Because I can't speak for men. However, and I want to kind of tread light because I don't want to be offensive to nobody. You understand what I'm saying? I don't want to be offensive to the community. That's not what I'm here about. But there's something about deception that I can't get with. You know what I'm saying? Even in the text messages that I read yesterday, Tyler Perry was telling this man, I know people in their 50s and 60s who not living in their truth. Tyler, you're not living in your truth. Talking about they miserable. Tyler, you are miserable. That's why you moving in secrecy. You know what I'm saying? I know gay men and who are out of the closet and they live their life loud, loquaciously. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't understand you telling somebody, they being held captive in religion and all of that stuff. It's not even about that, because you got men who are out and they still proclaim Christianity, which I am in total disagreement about it. But hey, it is what it is. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody got a right to live the way they want to live. Do I love them? Yeah, I love them. But I don't condone that. That's just where I'm at. But they live in their truth. You understand what I'm saying? They're living their truth. But men who are on the down low, there is a level of deception that runs deep, especially in the women and for women. Feminists. Do you understand what I'm saying? You out here deceiving, or you in these relationships with these heterosexual women that wants a heterosexual man, and they think that they have a heterosexual man, but they don't. They got somebody else that is bisexual, or you just straight gay and you just using her as a beard. That's misery. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not fair. Do you know how many women that are in jail right now for hurting or killing or committing a crime against men who came out as gay or gave them something that they can't get rid of because they were a coward and did not live in their truth? And so now you're hurting another human being who had nothing to do with your sexuality, who had nothing to do with the inner feelings that's on the inside of you, obviously did not have nothing to do with your second life, and you affected her. The level of deception is what I personally cannot get with. I can't get with that, because my thing is, we in 2025 where you can be whatever you want to be. They got a platform for anything that you want to be in this day. They got a group and a channel, organization or whatever, to be whatever it is that you want to be in this day and age. You do not have to live behind deception and deceit. You do not have to do that. And anybody that wants to come up, I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in before I forget. Let me go ahead and do that right now. But I am very curious to see how men feel about men who live on a down low. So some people may say you cannot push somebody out the closet. No, you cannot push nobody out the closet. Or some people may say you cannot rush people to make a decision about their sexuality. No, you cannot do that. But by all means, while you are doing that, and I know this is kind of like a taboo topic, and I know this is like a fine line or whatever. If you are unsure with your sexuality, okay, but when you get in a relationship with somebody, make that clear. Hey, I'm bi, or I'm tri, or I'm quattro. We don't know what you are. You understand what I'm saying? What was that? What is Wayne Brady? Pansexual. You understand what I'm saying? But you need to be making that clear with the to partner that you laying down with, because you're not allowing them to make a decision if they want to be with you, if they want to bet it all and take a risk to be with you physically. That's a choice that somebody need to be making, and that's scary. You don't do that. You don't make a decision for nobody. You don't make a decision for nobody else because you in your feelings, you haven't decided sexually who you are, or what you're choosing to be, or how you're choosing to be. You know what I'm saying? That's not fair. So when you actively live in that deception and living that lie, you're being selfish. That's just my point of view. You are being selfish. You got this whole life that your partner don't even know about. You into all this, different type of sexuality that your partner has no way of knowing. That is riskful if you're not being safe. You understand what I'm saying? And I know I'm telling the truth. It is just not fair. And I don't want to hear, they're not married. I don't want to hear people can be what they want to be. Yeah, you can. But when you invite somebody else in your life, none less in your bed, you have a responsibility to have some type of sexual safety and wellness and sexual integrity about yourself and the person that you laying down with. I mean, that's just that just makes sense. That just makes sense. It do. You understand what I'm saying? I go back to think about Tisha Campbell, allegedly, and how she discovered her husband was a part of the community. All of these years, that scared me. The door slammed. The wind blew the door, and the door slammed. All of these with this man, and I believe she got kids with this man. All of these years, and you live in a whole deception. Not only that, you being deceptive allegedly with the finances. You being deceptive of your living situation. Hey, SBK, I see nothing but love your way. You just being totally deceptive, and this wife don't have no idea. I feel like that's selfish. I feel like that's selfish. I really do. So in relates to Tyler Perry, I feel like he's lived for these last decade or so, he's lived a very selfish life. Because you pandering to one community, the church and the black woman, but you live in a whole another situation. Now, does he have an obligation to scream out loud to the public that he's bisexual or homosexual? He absolutely does not. He absolutely does not. But I'm gonna say this again because all of this is covered by the 107 copyright. I bet y'all ain't saying that right, but anyway, it's covered. Read the banner. You know what I'm saying? This is just for entertainment purposes, and I'm just saying this allegedly. You understand what I'm saying? You live it. He's not, because he's not living his truth. This is why he's in the situation that he's in now. And then your immediate rebuttal is he's got the whole world. It is not, we don't want the Christian hymns, and we don't want the scriptures, because your lifestyle is contrary of that. I'm just being blunt and I'm just being honest. But I really want to know what heterosexual men feel, how you feel. What is your take on men on the down low? What's your take? I really want to know. Because my thing is my thing is this. The first thing that pops in my mind, and I'm not gonna lie, is coward. I am a fully heterosexual woman, full blood born. No, all I want is a man. Why hide? I just said that before you came. I just said that in this day and age, why hide? I ain't condoning it, but why hide? You know why I feel like he's been in the closet for a long time, allegedly? It's because the church and black women is his demographic. That's how he get his bread. It's very it's very deceptive. It's very deceptive. It is extremely deceptive. And a lot of stuff can go left in relationships with dealing with men like that. It's very hurtful, and you know it can really scar a heterosexual woman. And I'm finna explain why. I'm getting ready to explain why. Okay, because here you are in a relationship with a man. Here you are in a relationship with a man, and you think you're in a heterosexual relationship with a man, and he's sleeping with you. You understand what I'm saying? And when men, and I'm gonna share something with you all men, when men sleep with women like that, because we're emotional creatures. When you all sleep with us like that, it makes us feel like you want us. You understand what I'm saying? When you all agree to be in a relationship with us, we feel like we belong to something or someone. It boosts us up. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna tell the truth. And then when that thing ends, we be feeling heartbreak. We be feeling like, okay, what did I do wrong? Why did it go left? Unless somebody done cheated. You understand what I'm saying? But to find out that the person that you supposed to be attracted to and sexually and physically engaging in things with is on a down low, it makes you feel like you are less than a woman. Because in our mind, and I'm just gonna say this, and I'm not trying to be offensive. I ain't even gonna say for all women, just me. I'm like, this ain't even a real dude. This ain't even a real dude. That's just how I feel, y'all. I'm just that's just how I feel. I love women, so I can't relate to deception. I know you can relate to some type of deception, SBK, and so can women. Because I mean, there's times in relationships where both parties are some type of the way deceptive. Whether you go buy too many shoes and hide it in the closet, well, you know how we do. But I'm just talking. You said that Scorp love her some men too. Yeah, I love you some men. So when you went, so I mean, it's devastating to heterosexual women to find out that your partner is on a down low. It is devastating because that ain't what you signed up for. And no heterosexual woman that's straight up for men want a man on down low. We don't want, because we feel like they are less than a man. Now I'm not saying this in a derogatory way, but I'm saying this as it relates to the male and female relationship, a heterosexual. We don't want that. If you want a man, then you need to go be with a man. I don't want no man that's playing for both teams. Because I mean, what are we doing? But you got people in relationships like that right now to the day, and the woman know that she the being for the man, and she willing to do the time. You understand what I'm saying? But there's a level of deception that is like none other in those type of situations, and I just do not get it. You understand what I'm saying? I just don't get it. And my thing is, listen, call a spade a spade. He ain't really hiding because we all saw. Everybody know that this man allegedly is on the down low. I mean, he ain't got to share nothing with nobody. He honestly do not have to share nothing with nobody. But when you get these stories coming out, and you get these lawsuits allegedly coming out, you got some people, especially in the church community, especially in those individuals that were on the board with him when he first came out with the plays and were touring. You know what I'm saying? And he kind of drew in the church, and he made it relatable for the church, and he act like he identified with the Protestant community. You understand what I'm saying? We are questioning. Well, I ain't, but a lot of them are questioning. I thought you was in church. That's the first thing that fly out of some traditional Pentecostal's mouth when they hear this type of story. I thought he was supposed to be in the church because we share certain tenets. We go by certain tenets, right, Tyler? And he know this. You said a lot of times the signs of a switch hitter is it's in plain sight. It's in plain sight. It's in plain sight. And I believe God be putting that on them. Because they all move the same. And it's like they can't stop doing it. And it just comes out. It just comes out. But this burns me up. You understand what I'm saying? Because my thing is, I don't like individuals that attach themselves to the church. You know what I'm saying? You got all these themed plays, with spiritual meanings behind it, with you know what I'm saying? All these plays that pander to the church. You know what I'm saying? You know, God gonna get you if you do this. You know what I'm saying? God got a way. You know what I'm saying? You pandering to the church, but you ain't living like the church. And listen, nobody said that you had to, but don't act like you walking and rapping with us when you know in your lifestyle you not. And so when all of this come back out and all of this stuff coming out, just say who you identify with, because for sure it's not the church. And the reason why I say that, you can love God and still be in the community. That's not what I'm saying. You can, but most definitely not living to according to the tenets. And I know this is a dose of medicine that people don't like to hear it. But if I got to stand, I'm going to stand for what I believe in. And I'm not trying to be offensive to nobody. And I love individuals who are in the community. I do love you, but I do not like the action. Just like y'all love Christians, but y'all don't like the fact that we say homosexuality is against the tenets of Christianity. Y'all don't like it. And a lot of y'all want to stuff it down our throat that we're supposed to just accept it. But the Bible calls for us not to accept it. But that don't mean I don't love you. You understand what I'm saying? But they get an attitude because it's in there. It's in there. It cannot be negated. It cannot be negotiated. It's in the Bible. It's in there. Now, you ain't got to live your life according to the Bible, because guess what? People can do what they want to do. And I want you to. But do it for real, for real. Don't play games. Just say who you are. But the reason why he won't say it publicly, allegedly, and this is just my conjecture, is because he know he's going to lose a whole demographic of people. He's going to lose a percentage of those 30 million followers that he got. For real, for real. Do you hear what I say? So my thing is, stop playing. Stop playing. But at the end of the day, if it's good entertainment, it don't matter what part of community you in. Some people gonna watch it because it's everywhere. If you said you weren't gonna watch somebody who in the community, I'm not watching nobody on TV who's in the community. You wouldn't be watching TV. Bottom line, it's everywhere. So I'm not being ridiculous about it. I'm just saying, be true to yourself. You said a lot of times signs is in plain sight. You said I can tell when a dude is battling on the other side of the play. Yeah. In other words, signs of masculinity is not there. It's not there. But they try so hard. Now I know somebody. I was doing a gig. I had a gig that I was doing. I was on the contract to do a gig with somebody, and somebody's a part of it, and they was a part of it as well. And they came to me and they said it in all sincerity. And I could respect them to this day for that. They said, please pray for me because I am battling it. I'm battling it. He identified for himself that this is not what he wanted to do, but it was a struggle for him because his body, his flesh craved it. You understand what I'm saying? So he was battling. He asked for prayer, and I earnestly, sincerely pray for him. You understand what I'm saying? At least he identified it. At least he was true with it. Y'all hearing me tonight? It just don't make no sense. Like, why do that to an individual? Why do that to a woman? Why even get in a relationship with someone and you know that you are mixed in your sexuality? You know that you are struggling within yourself. You're not ready to be in a heterosexual relationship. And I don't want to hear that, it's my business. I can do what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to hear that. Sometimes I rock with women. Sometimes I rock with men. No, you need to make it. Now, I understand bisexual, but my thing is this. You need to make it clear to the partner that you are sleeping with and laying down with. That is only fair. Am I telling the truth, SBK? It's just not fair to do that. And then the other portion that I don't like It's when you are being intrusive and forcing your sexuality on somebody who has not made an advance to you and say, this is what I want. But I feel like his status and his success is like an endorphin to him. It's almost like a drug to him, and it blinds his rationality. And you just throw yourself at these people, and you just think they just gonna go for it because you ain't strong enough to come out here and say this is who you is and get in a gay relationship. So you're gonna force yourself on every man that's appealing to you, whether they straight or in the community. That's that arrogance. And you think people are supposed to submit to that and bow down to that because of what? Because of who you are. You're not even being true to yourself. See, that to me bothers me. I have heard men in the community make comments, you know what I'm saying, about things, men that they see walking by, and it really aggravated me. I ain't gonna lie, it aggravates me. Because you ain't even came out about your sexuality. You've been in that thing for 30 years. It's this secret community that I can't get with. Be who you are. I am Flatfoot saying I'm a heterosexual Pentecostal minister preacher. You said, Queen, I love women. I love talking to women and listening to women. I can't relate to dudes who go both ways. I don't have anything in common with those type of men. To each his own, though. Don't have anything in common. That's what really struck me in this comment that you made. You don't have anything in common with these men. I wish you can expound on that. You don't have anything in common, and I'm very interested in that. Nothing. They thought process, how they live life, how they engage with their counterparts, how they engage in their family, just their life in general. You have nothing in common. And would you say that this is the common census of heterosexual men in general, as it relates to men on the down low or men in the community? Nothing. Can you be friends with these individuals? Can you accept them in the lounge? Can you accept them at the round table? I have so many questions. Hey, SBK, I welcome you to the show.
Hey, Queen, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, all right, let's go. All right.
Okay.
Um, you wanted me to expound about what I was talking about, that I don't have
Yeah.
anything in common. Well, I mean, because first of all, there's no coward in me. You know what I mean? A man that's on the down low, and I know plenty of them. You know what I mean? And you know how I found out? I have relatives, and I have a few relatives that are in the gay community, men and women.
Mm-hmm.
And so, another gay person can tell whether or not someone like a man that's maybe dressed like a man, that's not flamboyant. They can sit
Mm-hmm.
there and point them out, right? So,
Okay.
and I'm like, man, I don't believe. I've doubted them before. Sure enough, something happened and they've gotten exposed. So
Wow.
what I mean by that, Queen, is that I don't have anything in common with. And don't get me wrong. I'm not. This is not a hate speech or nothing. I have personally against that community or whatever. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
I'm speaking for myself. I don't have anything. I don't have anything in common with a man that goes both ways because, first of all, uh, I am very much transparent in my life. I have nothing to hide. I
Mm-hmm.
in any aspect, right? So what you see is what you get.
Hmm.
So I love women. You know what I'm saying? I want to be around women. You know, my mom helped raise me. My mom taught me how what to look for in a woman. You know what I'm saying? My dad was a man's man. You know what I mean? I spoke about that Sunday. So uh, I I feel like that all the men that I know that have been that have been uh, on the down low, I couldn't be. I could be cool with you. Hey, how you doing? And that's it. I can't hang out with you. I can't. You know, I don't have anything in common with you. I just don't. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not to me. That is not um, your masculinity is your masculinity. You go. You know, you got to take that to the grave. You know what I'm saying?
So
And
do
to
you think
me,
they lose masculinity? Do you think these type of individuals, these type of men, do you think they lack masculinity?
absolutely. You know what I mean? Because absolutely. Because you know, I mean, you're a preacher. You know what I mean? God made y'all for us, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So
Mm,
you know, it's the natural thing. You know what I mean? For you know the
mm.
birds and the bees, the dogs, the cats. You know what I mean? They all procreate. You know what I mean? And so
Because I
sex is
know men who are in the community and they see they project um masculinity. You know what I'm saying? They project it at times. You know what I'm saying? Like they have that protector characteristic in them. Um that assertive a leader characteristic in them. However, they are in the community.
right, right.
So that's why I asked the question. I
Yeah,
mean, some of
well,
them are not flamboyant.
yeah, it's a lot of them that's not flamboyant. A lot of them, uh, they appear to be manly men. You know what I'm saying? You know, you know, with the naked eye, you couldn't tell. You know what I'm saying? But you know,
Right.
your darkest secrets, you know, your darkest secrets come out. You know what I mean? I've seen some guys, you know, big buff guys, my size, whatever. Oh man, that's a tough guy. Come to find out, you
Mhm.
know, that they do they got that alternative lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
That's why
So
I say, are you sure that you think that they lack masculinity?
yeah, because I'm gonna tell you why.
Because
Because
masculinity is just a level. Masculinity is just a level of testosterone. I feel. You
well,
know what I'm saying?
it's more to
Um,
it's more to it than that, Queen. And let me explain. I'll let you get off what you got to get off. Masculinity is in the way you talk. It's the way you handle yourself. It's your attitude as a male. It's the way you treat people. It's the way you treat yourself. You know what I mean? All of that entails masculinity, not just testosterone. So whenever the way you talk, the way you carry on in your life, you know what I'm saying? Uh, the way you project yourself, your character
mhm,
when no one is looking. You know what I'm saying? That also
mhm.
kind of portrays your masculinity as well. You see what I'm saying?
It does. It does. It does. And you got a lot of those individuals who they hit every marker. You would think that they would just straight up, into just a heterosexual, but then you find out that they have an alternative lifestyle, which is so sad. It's sad and saddens me, but it really affects women. You understand what I'm saying? And when you get in these situations where you find out your partner is on the down low, it does it like crushes our
I
femininity.
and I want to ask you about that. And you mentioned that. I will imagine I'm not a female, of course, but I would imagine whenever you're saying that as a female, that if you found out your man was, you know, going both ways and he was going behind your back and doing things with another male, I would imagine you would, you guys would question yourself and be like, why am I not enough? You know what I'm saying? Why I'm not enough?
Exactly.
What
Am I
what
man
you
enough?
question? Yeah, you question yourself. What am I not doing?
And
Did
then
I
you got
cause
some
something to
women
make
who
you? Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
no. I was just saying, maybe women question themselves and say, "Am I the reason why you chose this?" Question yourself, or you blame
Mhm.
yourself.
And I was just getting ready to say that, you have some women like, did I turn him gay? Was I so horrible that he just preferred men? Was I sexually satisfying for him? That's the
Right,
big question in the room. Am I sexually satisfying to this man? You know what I'm saying? That he had to go to another man. It is crushing. It does something to to our chromosomes.
right.
You understand what I'm saying? And it's like we got to go rebuild ourselves
And I'm
after that.
gonna tell you something else, Queen, and you might not agree with this, but the old you hear people saying, that boy went in jail and he came out. They gonna turn him into a punk. You're gonna turn him into a gay. He's gonna be gay, and they gonna turn him out. And blah 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 blah. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in that. If you go to jail and you do what you do with other men, that means
Mhm.
that seed was already in you. You know what I'm saying? That seed
Well,
of
so
of,
what
of
about
that.
those who are violated?
Those who violated, man, I can't speak for that. You know what I mean? That's a different. When you're violated,
When you're in
I
prison
can't.
and you get violated.
I mean, when you get violated, I can't speak on that. That's a whole different thing. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
feel like but I'm talking about someone who, under your own volition, you know what I'm saying? Under your own volition, you're partaking in, what I'm saying, that alternative lifestyle. I feel like
Hmm.
I feel like that prison and that lifestyle did not change you. I feel like that seed of you being going both ways was always in you, and it just came out at the right time. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, with anything that you do, you know what I'm saying? If entertain something long enough or whatever, you're planting seeds. As the scripture says, you know what I'm saying? You plant seeds,
Yes.
and you
Yes.
and then you let that take root in you. You know what I'm saying?
And you
And so
said a
that's
powerful thing. You let it take root in you. You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? You let it take root in you. Hey, Mantis, I said nothing but love your way because um you deserve it. Now, Mantis, you said it's still a choice, even if they're violated. What do you mean? If you got like 10 dudes holding you down, I don't think that's a choice. I think that's a violation. You say, let me read it again. It's still a choice, even if they were violated. Now, if they continue on in that behavior after they are released, then yeah, it's a choice. I know somebody every time they go in there, something happened, but when they come out, they come back to their wife.
Yeah, I can't, man. I can't.
You
Yeah,
know
I'm
what
with
I'm
you. I'm with you, Queen. I can't speak on violation. You know what I'm saying? Because you know, um, if you get violated and by a whole bunch of people or whatever, and they overtake you, you know what I'm saying? I can't speak on nothing like that. All I know is that you know I'll SBK. I can only speak for SBK, and I'm gonna say this here. Um, right now, you know what I'm saying? uh, I'm going to go to the grave knowing that I'm all man, and
saying?
this tallywhacker of mine belongs to my woman. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to give it
Mm-hmm.
up by under no circumstances or whatever, because I'm all man. I'm all
You're
man.
gonna fight your
I'm
way.
not going to
Basically,
question
you're
my
gonna fight your way
masculinity.
out.
Yes, you know what I'm saying. And so I'm not
You're gonna
going to.
fight.
I'm not going to. That's not going to be compromised at all. You know what I'm saying? I'm just speaking for myself. So yeah,
That's because I said he gonna be throwing them hammers.
man, putting the hammer, hell. So I'm just
Okay.
saying.
So Matthew said if you decide to do it after, yeah, then then that's what it is. But it really bothers me that you got this whole community of men who are on a down low, and you what you're doing is you're really opening up a risk factor for your partner because you selfish enough, you living this selfish lifestyle, and just not being true to your mate or who you sleeping with. It is all coming out of a selfish place to me. It really is. Because you don't have to live like that.
Right.
But
So
when you got millions and millions of dollars at stake, you understand what I'm saying? Or you gonna be alienated by millions of people if they find this out. That's why you got people who don't say nothing. If y'all hear the rain, it's raining really hard here.
yeah, I can hear that rain. Really, it's raining real hard. I can hear it in the background.
Yeah, it's raining really hard.
So, Queen, the thing about it is, you're speaking about these folks, these millionaires that have money, and they do all kinds of stuff. You know, you got the money, you got the means to cover up, you got the means to do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Um, you can pay people off, you can do whatever you want to do behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? But be sure your sin will find you out. You know what the scripture says on that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Your sin will find you out. But you
And what's
mentioned
done in the dark, yeah, it's gonna come to the light, most definitely.
absolutely, absolutely. But you know, I want to ask you this. You brought up, you just brought up the health aspect of it. You're putting your partner in risk, right? We mentioned, both of us. We mentioned the being a coward. You know, being afraid to come out and live your truth. You know what I'm saying? You're being a coward. Um. So what are in your opinion as a woman? Why do you think men hide being on the down low, other than those reasons?
I'm gonna speak to specifically our community.
Okay.
Um because for one, and I'm gonna say I'm trying to be strategic when I say this, because in this day and age, there's a lot of there's a higher percentage of individuals in the community within our community than it used to be maybe 20 years ago. Now that we were aware of, because it's always been there. It's just been taboo to speak of. And I think some of that residual embarrassment, that residual you are less than a man if you're like that, lingers on to this generation. So you will have a lot of people who will not come out because they don't want to be alienated by their uncles, by the matriarchs of their family. They don't want to be alienated by their black women. They don't want to be alienated in the community. They don't want to be alienated amongst their friends. The rap community, the influences of the industry says it's not cool to be gay. It's just now coming to accept black men openly homosexual in the industry, because it's not cool. You understand? That's the message that we've been hearing for decades. So you got a lot of men, man, I ain't like that. Man, you better get that away from me. Meanwhile, they are like that. But they don't want to be alienated from their community, from their culture.
That makes
So
that makes a lot of sense.
they stay in the closet.
Right. That makes a lot of sense because you know that what peer pressure is not just for the teenagers and young people. Peer pressure stays
Mhm.
with you for the rest of your life. So you brought a great point because you don't want to come off as being some type of way amongst your peers. You brought
Right,
out the rap community, Hollywood, and so forth and so on. You know what I mean? You got to those people have to live by a certain standard of what people
right,
think of them. You know what I'm saying? So the advantage that they have over uh, majority of people is that they're millionaires. They can cover up stuff. They can do things, and you know what I'm saying, and dip in and dip out in the dark or whatever you want to call it. But that's the only difference is, you know what I'm saying, they have the money and the means to basically just in their eyes get away with a lot. You know what I'm saying? So you
get
have a
away with a
wonderful
lot.
point. You got a great point.
Yeah, but it's the truth though. You know what I'm saying? You have to cook out, you know what I'm saying, and all your uncles and nephews and cousins, the male cousins is all right there. Y'all talking, and you want and you and as a black man Just picture that setting. You got your auntie, your aunt, your matriarch, the grandmama in there cooking food. You know what I'm saying? Y'all playing horseshoes, and you want to stand up in the midst of all of those men who are in your life, and all you've seen all of your life is heterosexual examples and couples. That's all you've seen. And you gonna stand in the midst of those men and come out in our community.
I agree. I'm with you.
That's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna
Right.
happen. Now, you do have some individuals, they are trendsetters. They're gonna walk right on in, and everybody gonna be like, oh, you know how he is, honey. Ooh, we praying for him. But it ain't a whole handful of them. It's like maybe one in the family.
Yeah, yeah, and it's understood that they're that way. You know what I mean? I have that. I have those in my family. Love them to death. You know what I'm saying? Um, but of course, I'm not going to be swayed that way. But yeah, we all have them in the family. You're exactly right. Culturally, you're spot on. I totally agree with you on that. You know what I
And
mean?
so what happens? So what happens since you not since you know your family don't accept you like that, and you know it's taboo, and you better not come out at the cookout and say that. What happens? You live your life in the closet, right? And you do exactly what you mimic, exactly the examples that was mimicked before you. You go marry you a woman, and you perpetuate the heterosexual family, but your whole life is on a down low, right?
Right, right,
And a lot of times, this is what happens in our community. A lot of times, this is what happens. I mean, even in the church world, it's I'm that and this is and that really burns me up. We sit up here and we say that the Bible is our basis and our foundation. And I'm just speaking for myself as a Pentecostal. You understand what I'm saying? We say this out loud. We beat people over the head with our beliefs. We come out with our, tenets. You got to be this. You got to do this. You got to do this. And you got these preachers who've been preaching for decades. But these individuals are homosexual in the church. You know it. And everybody know it because half of them is sleeping with the pastors and the bishops and you know this, but yet you let them operate in leadership in your church and over your youth and over the music and over the choir. That's where I have a grievance with the church. If you gonna preach against the whore on the corner, then you need to preach against the homosexual who we also preach against.
amen.
That's how I feel. If you gonna silence me for fornicating and sit me down for screwing, then you need to sit down the homosexuals that's directing the choir.
Amen. I'm with you.
You gonna glorify talent, but shame the woman that got caught in fornication. I'm not with that.
I'm
And
with
the
you.
church and the pastors is gonna have a lot to answer for on Judgment Day. You got a
Absolutely.
choir full of flamethrowers, but you gonna sit the girl who got pregnant down.
Hmm.
Because
Absolutely.
half of y'all pastors are sleeping with them. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Come on, somebody. Come on, somebody.
And I know I'm telling the truth, but see, that's the medicine that the church don't want to hear. That's why they've been turning and looking away at Tyler Perry. Oh, he's so funny, girl. You going to see the play? Yeah, girl, I'm coming to see the play. Come on, y'all. Somebody said, somebody said half of his series is about his life. There's always a gay man somewhere struggling.
Well, I'm gonna tell you this here, Queen. I've never been a fan of his or whatever because, man, look, every movie. You remember the early movies or whatever, man. He just had
Horrible.
the yes, man. He just had the black man looking like a daggum fool. Just having the black
Mhm.
man just look do all kinds of crazy stuff to the woman. I just wasn't a fan of the dude. I'm still not. You know what I mean? But it's funny that you bring up church and the and then let's talk about our community again. Within the church, very prevalent. with the that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I know two preachers alone right now. Um, that two of them were two pastors are were my two aunts pastors. Very well known here in the community here. They're yeah
Mhm.
they are they are switch hitters. You know what I'm saying? They
Mhm.
got wives and everything, but they are known gay guys. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
One of the pastors ran for city council here. You know what I mean?
Wow.
So know him personally. Um, so with that being said, Queen, it's like um, there's no accountability at the pulpit, and I feel like that you're mocking God. You know what I mean?
Come on.
You're going to you're gonna you're gonna reap what you sow, bro. You know what I mean? And that's something that you don't want to play with, and
Mhm.
that's what really disheartens me with some of our black men who and mainly I don't know that I'm sure there's some women pastors, what I'm saying, women preachers
No, yes,
that
they
live
are.
alternative. Yeah, I'm sure they are, but me, I just know a lot
Mhm.
of men that are
And so
ordained
the,
ministers.
the the deception is so vile and so disheartening and so destructive. You understand what I'm saying? Because they go at any length to hide this lie and to continue this lie. You understand what I'm saying? And it affects so many different people and demographics. You understand what I'm saying? I've heard stories of young boys just been trafficked along in the church, passed from one, no, just passed along from one bishop to another pastor to another pastor. They just been passed on. These young men's life are destroyed. Not only are their lives are destroyed, but their faith has been tested, and it makes them feel like God ain't real. You understand what I'm saying? Because here you got this big entity, this big icon. You know what I'm saying? That's preaching in the pulpit. That's so influential to a mass of people, but yet they're taking advantage of you, and you know this as a young boy. And we've heard the horror stories. We've heard the horror stories. Um,
Absolutely, absolutely.
just you not living in your truth and seeing how destructive this lie is to other people and families. They coming out crying because this pastor and this bishop took advantage of them, half their life.
Yeah, I'm glad we're talking about this
Because you
because I feel. Go ahead, I'm sorry. I'm
no, go
sorry,
ahead.
Queen.
I'm
Go ahead.
done.
Not. But Queen, I'm glad we're talking about this because this is something that's been dear to my heart. Um, whenever my brother and I, we grew up and we grew up in a Christian school. We went to a private Christian school, graduated there and everything. I got word from my brother. He's a Pentecostal preacher as well. He's an elder. He's ordained and so forth in the church, and he sent me this link, this YouTube link, right? And he sent it to me, texted to me, and um, it was a classmate of ours who was a principal at a Christian school in North Carolina, I believe. We went to school with him, went to high school with him. He's a few years older than we are. But to make a long story short, Queen, he took his own life. And the reason why he took his life is because he was found out here in Texas
Oh my
that
God.
he was violating some people, you know what I mean, and in the church. And so he was going to be confronted about it. He got wind of it, and then he took his own life. So it stuff like, and I knew the guy. Like I said, I knew the guy. But then again, you know I got to talking to my brother, and like I said, my brother is a pastor, and got to talking to him, and we started just thinking retrospect about the guy that took his own life, and he was Queen, like I said, the signs are there. Even back then, as a kid, teenagers in high school, the signs were there. As this from this guy, the guy was it was something not right. You see what I'm saying? You can't put your
Yeah.
finger on it. You know what I
You
mean?
just
But
don't know.
yeah, you know how you know how the scripture says, your spirit bears witness with another spirit, so forth,
Hmm.
you know what I mean? And so it was
Yeah.
something that was not right on that, you know what I mean? And years down the line, it just came out that he had some issues, you know what I'm saying? So um that's my whole thing with that, man. Whenever that type of lifestyle, alternative lifestyle, as
Hmm.
in the church with our people or whatever.
Hmm.
That's what disheartens me about that, because the ministry is nothing to play with. You know what I mean? And so
It's
yeah,
not
you're
nothing
absolutely
to
correct.
play with. But see do you see how um being sworn to secrecy, you know what I'm saying? So how these young men, even at a early age, they didn't say anything, so now they grow up to be men who are still sworn to that secrecy. They feel like they are trapped in this, and they're gripped by fear that no one is supposed to ever know. So then you get in these relationships and you're still sworn to secrecy, which is unfair to the other party. You understand what I'm saying? You still got grown men out here, and I know one very well known content creator, extremely has a massive following, and they just as flamboyant and gay as they want to be, but they will not come out and say it. And there's been so many stories surrounding him, even that he may have, be a health risk, but he will not come forth and say it. Why? Because he also has a Christian following, a very huge Christian following. And that
Right,
makes me sick to my stomach.
right, right. Yep, yep, absolutely. You know what's sad is
But it
that people.
started, hey, don't you say nothing. It started when you was little. You know what I'm saying? The
Yeah,
violation. Don't you say nothing. Don't you say nothing. And they just live a life by that. And it's a sad commentary. It really is.
yeah, yeah, very sad. I'm gonna say this here, and I'm gonna drop down, Queen. But the thing about that, what you was just saying about content creators, people, pastors, and so forth, that have this huge following, whether you're pastoring a church or you're leading people, teaching Sunday school class, content creating, whatever. You know what I mean? Um, Nobody forces you to follow these people. You know what I'm saying? They don't. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
So it's up to us individually to if we it's up to us to follow the right people. It's up to us
Mm-hmm.
to make decisions who we're going to follow, draw a line in the sand, and say, as for me and my house, you know, we're not having that. You know what I'm saying? We're not having that. I'm not having that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And what's wrong is wrong, and call it out. You know what I'm saying? And so it's pretty uh it's astonishing how a lot of these people that are switch hitting or whatever have a large following, and people are like sweeping underneath the rug. But man, it just takes
Right.
people like you and I to, like, and people who are listening, and people who have you know have their wits about them, to say, look, I'm not following after that, and that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what it takes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, SBK, for chiming in on this topic. I really just thought it was intriguing. And I think I'm gonna be on here just a little bit, and I know Urban is live, so I want to go support too as well. Um, thank you so much, SBK. I appreciate it.
Thank you for
I
having me up,
just
Queen.
anytime, anytime.
All right.
I am really, really, really intrigued by I don't know why I am, but I'm very much so intrigued by Mr. Perry. because you see him throughout the course of the years. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why we're doing this show because I did a live last night about the story that has broke with Tyler Perry. Um, I'm really intrigued on men that live their life on the down low. It makes me think what's going on in their mind, what's going on in their rationality, what is scaring them so much, what's scaring them so much that they feel like they have to live their life in basically in silence. What is this fear? You know what I'm saying? What is this fear that holds you back? Because you live your life in this fear, you now go and be selfishly in these relationships with women who think they are with heterosexual men. And to me, that is so selfish. That is so selfish. And it's heart wrenching when a woman finds out that their man is on the down low. And again, I will say that there are prisons populated with these type of women who have done much harm to men who are like this. Um, Even if you're not even on Tyler Perry's level in status and don't have his money, you understand what I'm saying? There's still a level of deception where you infringe on somebody's privacy. You understand what I'm saying? Because you feel like uh, you have some type of influence or dominance. You know what I'm saying over this individual. Um, I feel like that is just plain, for lack of a better word, just wrong. That's wrong. Go be in a gay relationship. And I'm not trying to be offensive, but go be in a gay relationship. Go be in a gay relationship. Cause I know, go be in a gay relationship. You know, you got people who just, I don't know. I feel like the level of deception is just wicked. It really is. You build a whole life with individuals. You build a whole life, and you know this is not what you really want. You're not really loving the individual. You're not in love with this individual because why would you do that? And then in my thing, am I telling the truth? Am I telling the truth, Scorpio Mama? Why would you do that? You know what I'm saying? Why would you do that? I would respect you more and say, hey, you know what? I have to come out of this marriage because or this relationship because this is not what I want. You don't go and be with them for 10 years and build and have children with them and build a life with them and go in business with them and y'all meld your finances. You don't do all of that building with an individual and you really don't want them. That's not the sex that you want. And you can't just say I'm just doing this because I like this type of sex. You can't say that. You know what I'm saying? You can't say that because on the down low, no pun intended, that is who you really are. And this life that you're doing is what you're portraying. Because if it was not who you really are, you wouldn't have to hide it. And I hope I'm not contradicting myself, but what I'm trying to say is this: you know what I'm saying? You doing that in secrecy and going all the way out your means and creating all these deceptions and lies. You know what I'm saying? This relationship, that's not what you want to be. The deception, that's what you really want to be there. That's why you work as hard. We work hard for the things that we want in life, and it can be negative or positive. You know, I just don't get it. I just not. It's very selfish, and it's just very just it's just wicked. It's just wicked. You know. So now he's caught up. Now he's about to be sued, and I know other stories are coming out. Now they're saying that he probably gonna settle with the young man, But or he's saying the man is scamming him, or the man got close to him. Now that I'm going to defute. Nobody can get close to Tyler Perry unless Tyler Perry let them get close. Because Tyler Perry got a team of people. Their job is to create distance between him and the public. He ain't just got close to you, and historically they say that's what he do. He has a type. See, people they live their lives one way. Just like who is it alleged now? Allegedly, TD Jakes is in the lifestyle, and grown men have come out and said when they were young, he groomed them. Everybody not lying, and the specifics and the details that these men are sharing, like who is sitting down and making up those type of details? And see, this is what I'm saying. Your secret and your lies and your deception, it perpetuates through generations of people that you have violated. So what happened was allegedly, because he took advantage of this young man. And now I'm speaking of TD Jakes briefly. This young man went on to violate other young men and went to jail, if I'm not mistaken. It's not worth it. If I'm gonna go be a hoe, I'm gonna be a hoe out loud, loquaciously. You understand what I'm saying? If you in that lifestyle, honey, go ahead and do your thing. Because you hiding, you destroying lives, you're gonna destroy your business, your bag. You understand what I'm saying? It's just evil and it's manipulative. So yeah, I had to come back out here. Y'all was like, come back, come back. I'm coming back. Because I had to talk about it. And I feel like I still ain't really got it out my system yet. I gave the example, and I don't know if Fluffy is still on here, but I gave the example of a gentleman that I was dating a very long time ago. A gentleman that I was dating before I had, figured out who I was. A gentleman that I was dating before my appetite had changed from brownies to cupcakes. Before then, you said I'm out, darling. I'll see you in the streets. Okay, because I'm getting ready to run over to Urban's in a minute. A gentleman that I had was dating. Beautiful man. Beautiful individual. Beautiful. Gorgeous. Had these we had these tendencies that I didn't know anything about until um we were just exploring some things, and he slipped up and said, yeah, I want to blah 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 blah, but he was saying it to a dude. You know how you be in those situations in my these is my sinning days, okay? You know how you be in these situations where you uh in the heat of the moment and y'all just saying whatever you would come to your mind. And I pray it's all adults on here. That's why I put the thing that no kids. You know how you in the moment you just saying I like popcorn. Yeah, you like popcorn. Yeah, I like you do crazy stuff. You understand what I'm saying? And he slipped up and said something. And I said in my mind, he said what? I couldn't believe it. So what I did was I had my girl. Now, mind you, this is in my sinning days before I even knew about being dedicated to church and all this stuff. Okay. Before when I was still liking brownies instead of cupcakes. Okay. All right. I couldn't believe what he said. So I had got my girl on the phone. I said, you ain't gonna believe what he about to say. I'm like, just mute your phone because you're not gonna believe this. And the things that came out of his mouth, I said, yeah, no, we ain't gonna work out. But to look at him, you would not even know that. I'm like, we ain't gonna work out. We not gonna work out. It's not gonna happen. Okay? It's just not gonna happen. So, this is a good conversation. I thank SBK for coming out again. And my thing is, at the end of the day, be you. Be who you gonna be, honey, because it's not worth the deception. The energy the energy you gonna spend on deception is the same energy you can spend living out loud. Okay. I hope you guys did enjoy the show. I want you guys to go on Urban Podcast Lounge. And let's see what he's doing over there, and tell him when you get over there, tell him Queen sent you over there. Okay. All right, guys, do something nice for somebody. If it's nothing but saying hello, or a nice smile to somebody, or putting some bread in somebody's hand and say, hey, go get you a burger or something. Or like and share this post. It's free. Or support the channel, $CLAYLING, because guess what? You reap what you sow, and it's going to come back to you tenfold. This is your Queen Clayleen saying, be great. Bye-bye.